Good morning. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. Let's take a deep breath in and get settled in, closing off all distractions, and just setting an intention for today. We want today to be productive, to be easy flowing, effortless, filled with purposeful work, and knowing that we're on our path to greatness, to getting what we truly desire, to getting what we really want. And that takes not only looking at where you are and where you want to be, but closing the gap between where you are and where you want to be. It takes focusing on what you want instead of continuing to revolve around what you don't want. If you realize that you are energy, everything is energy, your goal is energy, and the things that have already manifested are energy that has been formed into matter. So if you're wanting to go to a higher level, to a better life, to more abundance, you can't get there from your current state of mind. You have to reverse it. You have to think from the goal already attained, thinking from the wish fulfilled, having the future goal already be present in your mind now, in the present moment. Focusing your attention, your energy, your feeling on that big, beautiful outcome that you desire, and waking up something inside of you that knows that it's yours, changing the way you look at yourself, knowing that not only is your goal possible, but it becomes guaranteed when you focus on it, when you think about it and think from it, and you choose to be in the vibrational energy that you'll be in once your goal has been attained. If you think it's too big and too scary and too far away, maybe compare it to something huge like the universe or the entire world. It's like taking your goal that is the size of a basketball and comparing it to a golf ball. It seems your goal is way too big for you. But if you compare it to the size of the globe, it's nothing. Make your big goal look small and easily attainable, and then you'll start to feel that you really can do this. It takes deciding what you want and accepting the responsibility that it's yours to bring into fruition, into physical reality, into your actual experience. I teach a program called Thinking into Results that was designed by Sandy Gallagher and Bob Proctor, and it takes personal development to a whole nother level. It's way beyond the self-help books or the little exercises here and there. It goes deep into actually creating permanent results, getting what you really desire, not just thinking about your goal, but actually being there in your mind and taking inspired action so that the possible becomes yours. Looking at the impossible and saying, I am possible. This is mine. I'm going after it. I don't care what anybody else said is mine. This is what I really want. And then, against all odds, going after it. That takes creating a mindset of wealth and abundance and prosperity and belief in yourself that you can do, be, or have whatever you desire. So in the Thinking into Results program, we talk about setting a goal that is big and exciting, maybe a little scary, but it inspires you. It's something you truly desire. And once we look at what is going on in my life that I don't want, and what are the emotions that I'm attaching to that, and what do I want, and what would it be like to be there, and overriding the old program of I can't because, or it's too big, and taking responsibility for our actions. Responsibility is a choice, and it truly is the key to freedom. Your future can be everything you have ever dreamed about, and then some. You have been gifted with more talent and ability than you could ever imagine, ever hope to use in this lifetime. You have the talent and tools to experience one beautiful day after another. That is, in fact, what the architect of the universe had in mind for you when you were created. If that wasn't so, you would never have been endowed with such awesome powers. You have the power to choose your thoughts. You can catch yourself thinking, I'm not good enough, I'm too ugly, I'm too stupid. And you can realize, wait a minute, maybe somebody said that to me when I was 6 years old, and I've been repeating that in my mind all these years. And here I am, 40, 50, 60 years old. What the hell am I thinking? That's not true. God created me perfectly. Why am I acting like I'm not good enough? I have been gifted with more talent and ability to live the life that I am meant to live, and I'm going to start taking responsibility. Bob Proctor's friend Val Vanderwall wrote, when a person takes responsibility for their life and the results they are obtaining, they will cease to blame others as the cause of their results. We know we can't change other people. Since you cannot change other people, blaming is inappropriate. Blaming others causes a person to remain bound in a prison of their own making. When you take responsibility, blame is eliminated and you are free to grow. And sometimes we're so used to blaming, to playing the victim, to saying, oh, I can't because my mother said this, my sister did that, my brother beat me up, my colleagues think this. It's their fault. No, you take responsibility for your results, and then you can change the results that you get in your life. Those who haven't taken responsibility for their results and their life often find themselves in a mental prison. And in many ways, a mental prison is a much worse place to live than a federal prison or a penitentiary. Just think about the mental torment that can destroy just about everything that is necessary for a meaningful life. Self-image, self-respect, relationships, and a host of other attributes. A mental torment will even cause a person's physical health to deteriorate. All the scientific and theological experts in the world have said what we think about, we bring about. Thoughts become things. So you can change your thoughts. Responsibility opens the door and permits you to walk into freedom. If you find yourself confined to such a mental state, understand there is a way out. Escape is encouraged and possible. The master key that fits the lock is clearly marked, and it is within everyone's reach. Bob Proctor and Sandy Gallagher tell us it is taking responsibility. It would be a fair comment to say that the people we have the greatest respect for are those who have accepted responsibility for every aspect of their lives. These individuals rarely duck responsibility by blaming someone else. When faced with an unfavorable situation, they're usually aware they have attracted the negative circumstance and know everything happens for a reason. When this happens, they merely learn their lesson and keep reaching out above and beyond, taking responsibility for whatever happens every step of the way. When a person refuses to accept responsibility for their life, they reject their uniqueness. They turn all their power over to other people, situations, or circumstances. No longer in control of their future, they will be hoping something good will happen, but because of past experiences, they will very likely be expecting something they do not want to happen. Have you ever done that? Thought that you really want something, but you expect something else? You really want that beautiful trip around the world, but you expect it's never going to happen. You can't afford it. You really want to be in love. You see everybody else who has beautiful relationships, and you expect to be alone, and then you feel miserable. Well, that attracts more lack, limitation, scarcity, and misery. It's really important to understand, to take responsibility, to choose lovely thoughts, to choose to be grateful, to choose to focus on happiness, peace, and joy, if that's what you want to bring into your life. When you accept responsibility for your life and for the results which you alone determine, you will develop confidence that your dreams can be realized and your plans can be carried out. Awareness of this magnificent truth is one of the greatest, if not the greatest thing that can happen in your life. Bob Proctor says it's Aladdin's lamp, a magic wand, the tooth fairy, all wrapped up in one. Dr. Rollo May, a distinguished psychiatrist, once wrote, "The opposite of courage in our society is not cowardice, it is conformity." It requires great courage to take responsibility for your life. It's so much easier to blame someone else or something outside of yourself. George Bernard Shaw said, "People are always blaming their circumstances for what they are." I don't believe in circumstances. The people who get on in this world are the people who get up and look for the circumstances they want. And if they can't find them, they make them. Shaw was right. Those who win big in life take responsibility and create their own destiny. What do you want to create? Ignorance of this principle causes a person to experience emotions of anger, guilt, and resentment. There's a vast difference between being responsible for and responsible to. There's a big difference. Often we hear parents blaming themselves and assuming responsibility for something that has happened to their child, even if their child is 40 or 50 years old. And the parent might say, if only we did something different, or I should have. Far too often we inappropriately assume responsibility for something when in fact our real duty to that person may have ended 20 years ago. Unfortunately, for many people, they carry that baggage around with them for life, never realizing they have a choice. The correct interpretation is you are responsible for your feelings and your results, not another person's. You may be responsible to another person for one thing or another, but not for another person. The exception, of course, is when you choose to take responsibility for raising children, but only until the age of majority. In that case, you are responsible to and for them until such time as they become responsible for themselves. You're not responsible for your children's actions when they're 30, 40, 50 years old. Only when they are children up to the age of majority. Then they should take on the responsibility for their own decisions, actions, and outcomes. It might be appealing at times to contemplate having another person take on our responsibilities. We could even trick ourselves into believing that by doing that, we would have more free time to play, to have fun, and do things that we wanted. Without the serious thought, it might never enter our mind that exactly the opposite would happen. When you permit others to take on your responsibilities, you become dependent on them. They become the giver and you become the receiver. Your well-being is dependent upon their generosity. Hopefully it becomes very clear that this kind of behavior only leads to a life of lack, limitation, resentment, and confusion, both on the part of the giver and the receiver. Nothing positive comes from the misuse of responsibility. When you take on the responsibility for another person's feelings, another person's actions or results, you destroy their self-reliance and self-respect. You are responsible for all the results in your life. You are responsible for your own happiness. You are responsible for your own health. You are responsible for your own wealth. You are responsible for your emotional state of being. Regardless of what has happened in the past, The future lies ahead with an open slate, waiting for you to take control and create a wonderful life for yourself. Winston Churchill, who certainly knew something about responsibility, said, "Responsibility is the price of greatness." Here's a marvelous affirmation that you can verbalize every night before you go to sleep and every morning as you wake up, as you step out of bed. I am responsible for my life. I am responsible for my feelings. I am responsible for my personal growth. I am responsible for every result I get. Once you accept that responsibility, you really can be or do or have whatever you want. Who are you now that you have created the life you desire? You have decided what you're going after. You get into that feeling of what it's like to be there. You are happy. You are healthy. You are wealthy. You are working purposefully in a field that you enjoy, in work that you love, in serving others from your heart, and in reaping the benefits of enjoying your life, of creating what you want. What thoughts would you be having if you already had the time, the money, the love, the peace, the joy, the sense of accomplishment? Get into that state of being happy, fulfilled, wealthy. And if being wealthy is something that you're afraid of because you were told wealthy people are greedy and money is evil, what if you changed your thinking patterns? The more wealth I have, the more I can help other people, the more I can create a life that I love and make things easier for my family. Who would I bless with all this extra money? My charity, my church, my family, the food bank? Maybe I would actually make sure there was clean running water to northern reserves or tribes in Africa. Maybe I would ensure that no one went hungry. What could I do with a beautiful, generous heart of service and more money to help those in need? Money is not all about greed and wealth and having a stable full of beautiful cars and a gigantic house. It's how would you help other people? You could enjoy more life and you could also help more people enjoy their life. When you have the feeling of well-being, of worthiness, of deserving every good, and you feel connected to that higher energy of prosperity, abundance, wealth, joy, financial freedom, love, happiness, you start to feel really great. You start to feel the well-being that is your birthright. And as you express that, it accelerates. As you feel better, you do better. And as a spiritual being with an intellect, you're here in this physical body to create more, to continue the creation of the world. If creation never stopped, we might still be living in caves. If creation stopped, we wouldn't be flying and driving cars and talking on cell phones. If creation stopped, you wouldn't be where you are today. And where you are today is a starting point of what's coming next. What would you love? Start thinking about how you want to be, what you want to do, what you would love, and take responsibility to get into that feeling energy of what is that like to be there now? What you truly desire is meant for you. When you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. So instead of playing small and thinking about all the things that could go wrong, just write out, if there is no limit, what do I really want? There is unlimited potential, unlimited possibility. I have been created perfectly. Everything that I dream about comes about. Everything that I think about becomes reality. I've been gifted with awesome powers of thought, feeling, and a physical body to bring it into reality. What do I really want to bring into reality? Write it down. Get into that feeling. Take responsibility for being there in your mind. And as you feel it in every cell of your being, you'll start to get ideas. Thoughts and ideas will come to you. And as you stay in that energetic vibration, you will create new ideas. Faith and fear both demand that you believe in something that you cannot see. It's your choice. Believe in the possibilities. Believe in your goal. Believe that you have everything it takes. Keep thinking, feeling, and acting from your goal already attained, from the wish fulfilled, and watch it come into physical reality. You create your life. Take responsibility. Think, feel, and act the way you really want to be living. Create a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. I'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 7. Thank you.